Imagine the ground trembling beneath your feet, the distant roar of a bloodthirsty crowd echoing through stone corridors, the smell of dust, iron, and destiny mixing in the air. Now imagine you're there, standing in the center of the arena, and there is no way back. The only option is to fight or die. It was in this merciless place that the Gladiator mental code was born, a set of psychological principles so deep that they transformed slaves, prisoners, and ordinary men into legendary warriors, feared, respected, and above all, unbreakable. Today, you will discover this code, and more importantly, you will learn how to apply it to your own life. As you listen, think about this. If your life were an arena, what battle would you be fighting right now? The story behind this code begins with Atreus, a gladiator whose origins have been lost to time. Some say he was weak. Others say he fainted at the sight of blood. There are stories that, on his first day of training, he collapsed, vomited, was humiliated, and nearly gave up. But what no one knew was that Atreus carried something inside him, not physical strength, but the silent ability to rebuild himself from within. And it was this ability that gave birth to what we now call Gladiator Psychology, the mental art that forged unbreakable men. The first principle of this code is brutally simple: accept the arena. Gladiators had no choice. They couldn't run, they couldn't complain. There was no room for questions like, why is this happening to me? The only question that mattered was, how do I win in this arena? Atreus realized early that while he lamented his fate, others trained. While he said, I want to escape, they said, I want to win. And that's the first lesson. Life doesn't change because you complain. Life changes because you adapt. So, let me ask you, what was the last arena you tried to avoid when you should have faced it? The second principle is the mastery of fear. Contrary to the romantic myth, gladiators felt fear, all of them. Fear wasn't an enemy to be destroyed, but a messenger to be heard. Atreus used to say, fear is a messenger, not an enemy. While some trembled before death, he learned to interpret fear as a guide. Fear whispered, prepare yourself, be fast, be precise, conserve energy. And the greatest lesson was this: fear only paralyzes you when you try to ignore it. The gladiator mind does the opposite. It brings fear close, looks it in the eyes, and asks, what are you trying to teach me? So think about it. What is your fear trying to tell you right now? The third principle is the ritual of the iron mind. The true strength of gladiators wasn't in their muscles, but in their mental discipline. Atreus created a daily ritual that later became tradition. First, the visualization of death. They imagined the worst possible outcome, not out of morbidity, but to remove its psychological power. When you accept the worst, it stops controlling you. Second, the arena breath. 3 deep breaths before any battle. Inhale courage, release doubt. And finally, the inner silence. 5 seconds with eyes closed, repeating a mantra that became legendary. I am the blade. I am the movement. I am the one who will rise next. This ritual turned chaos into absolute focus. So tell me, do you have a mental ritual before your daily battles? If not, this can be your beginning. The fourth principle is the destruction of the weak identity. Atreus' greatest transformation didn't come from training.
It came the night he decided to stop being who he used to be. Looking at his wounded hands, he whispered, "The man I was is dead. The man I choose to be is born now." This idea spread like fire through the gladiator ranks because they realized something profound. You don't need to become stronger. You need to stop feeding the weak identity you carry. The gladiator mind chooses its identity and then acts accordingly. So, ask yourself, which identity do you need to bury today? The insecure one? The one who gives up? The one who always says, "I can't"? Think deeply. The fifth principle is the purpose of blood. Gladiators didn't fight for glory or gold or the promise of survival. They fought for purpose. The purpose to prove something. The purpose to honor someone. The purpose to not die the same way they were born. Atreus fought for freedom. Others fought for family. Some fought for redemption. And here's the universal truth. A man with purpose fights differently. A man without purpose is already defeated before stepping into the arena. So tell me, what do you fight for? What is the purpose that keeps you standing? The story of Atreus reaches its peak years later when he faced the Titan of Carthage, a giant, undefeated, feared by everyone. No one believed Atreus had a chance. But when Atreus entered the arena, his face was calm, his steps were steady, and his eyes were no longer those of an ordinary man. The battle was brutal, but that day, Atreus won. Not with his sword, not with physical strength, but with the mental code he had cultivated. He had already won before the fight even began, because the real battle always happens inside the mind. And that is the essence of everything. The mind wins long before the body moves. Victory has always been mental. It always will be. Now that you know the gladiator mental code, acceptance, mastery of fear, ritual of the iron mind, new identity and purpose, I ask you, are you ready to live with the mindset of a gladiator? If you are, declare, "I accept my place in the arena." And if you want the next chapter, How Gladiators Built Unshakable Discipline, I'll prepare it for you.